Alright, what's up, man? Leonidas back with you, making a quick little video here. Just a little update for 2019. What's been going on? What's been happening? Where my focus is at right now. I've been having some really in-depth conversations with a lot of different people, just randomly. I've actually taken some time off to just get myself back focused on my health. It seems like I've been under attack ever since like December of 2018. I've had several different health issues that have popped up. Nothing really scary, except, well, one really, yeah, but everything has just been kind of like, I don't know if it's just been, the forces that are trying to prevent me from moving forward or something. But lo and behold, again, I'm just getting recovered from a cold that I caught from one of my kids. They came in with the cold like a week ago, and it got me pretty bad, but I'm doing a lot better now. So I really wanted to get back on some things that I've been inconsistent with, which is just getting back on camera, you know what I'm saying? Just making new videos and really getting refocused. I had a topic I wanted to talk about earlier about what does jumping out of planes and making videos have in common, right? And I can tell you about both of them. The fare is pretty much the same, getting ready to do it, and that might sound pretty crazy to you if you've never jumped out of a plane, but take it for somebody that's done it over 400 times, okay? For those of you that don't know my background, I served 10.5 years in the U.S. Army, and I did 5 combat deployments, which means I did more than 5 years of my time in the Army between Afghanistan and Iraq, and traveling around, most of Southwest Asia, Southwest Asia, in the Middle East basically, and Europe. So during that time, I was stationed at Fort Bragg. I spent a lot of time jumping out of planes there. I spent a lot of time jumping out of planes in Italy, in Eastern Europe and stuff. And that's what I did for my career in the military, my time in the military, and I enjoyed it. But that's one of the reasons why I was down with injuries, is for stuff like that, for jumping out of planes and wild stuff like that. But grateful for that time that I served. Do I miss it? Yes, I do sometimes. I do miss the camaraderie. I do miss skipping out of PT. I do miss the 4-day weekends and still getting paid for that crap. Some of it's really cool, some of it's a pain in the butt. But for the most part, it was a great time in my life. So, you know, um, just getting refocused on and understanding the fear of just doing something that you haven't done in a little while. You know what I'm saying? That's where fear steps in, especially when you lose a sense of confidence, and you lose that confidence because you don't do something, you know what I'm saying, or you don't know something. Basically, one of my mentors, a good friend of mine, he says, if you break down the word know, K-N-O-W, if you think about K as the word knowledge and W as the word wisdom, a lot of people live life, we go through life and we experience things and we get to know things through wisdom, not through knowledge, right? Now, if you look, when I think back in my time in the Army, when we were getting ready to go on deployments, or just as I was transitioning into the military, we always did rehearsals, we always did rock drills, we always went over something over and over ahead of time, so that way we could be able to make it second nature. Even jumping out of planes, we had to do something called pre-jump, right? And pre-jump, we would go to a designated location, and the jump masters would come out and recite this really long paragraph of a nomenclature, basically is what it was called. And they would, just come out there and jumper sit at 1,000 for 2,000, 3,000, and you just come out and do this long spew, and you would rehearse this entire process of how you would actually jump out of the plane, how you would steer your parachute, how you would fall to the ground, how you would impact the ground, how you would recover your gear, how you would assemble back to the recovery area. And then and this is after you go through airborne school, so that you already know the process. You've had at least 5 jumps out of an aircraft, so you know what it's like to actually jump out of a plane. And believe it or not, doing it is no scarier. If you've ever been on a roller coaster is a lot scarier than jumping out of an airplane, other than the fact that if something goes wrong, it goes fatally wrong very quickly. That's the only, and on a roller coaster is pretty much the same thing, but um, with the military, with my experience, I've had one incident personally myself where I actually got entangled with a jumper mid air, and we survived clearly. Um, and then I saw one incident myself live where two incidents actually. Well, one, I was on the ground when I saw this, where a guy got decapitated. That was crazy. And then there was another one where a guy, his arm got wrapped around the static line, and you know what's crazy? I've actually got a static line. Hang on, let me grab it. Hold on. This is hilarious. So yeah, this is the static line. This connects to the parachute. I don't know why I still have this, but this loop right here connects to the parachute on the inside of the chute when we pack it. We connect this with a shoelace. Believe it or not, this stuff right here connects to it connects. There's a circular grommet that the parachute it ties to right there, and then this other end, this goes inside the bag, and then this other end, this is the part that actually it's this part right here. This is the part that it hooks up to a metal, like a D-ring kind of thing, kind of looking like a carabiner looking kind of thing. And this hooks up to a cable inside of the aircraft. And this yellow lanyard goes over your shoulder depending on the door you're exiting. And this is what you hold. You hold on to this when you're going out the aircraft. So this lanyard got wrapped around homie's arm, and he's going out the plane, and he's like banging against the plane, holding on to this thing, trying to get his arm free. And you're not doing that. You see how thick this thing is? Like, this thing is like really designed to like take some, tow some heavy equipment, right? And then this is actually my actual helmet. As you can see, I still have stickers inside there from different jumps I was on. Was that R5, right door 5. So this is my actual helmet that I jumped out of planes with when I was in the Army. I still have it, It's just kind of weird. I was cleaning out some of my old Army gear today. And, when I think back on it, I can remember a couple of jumps, maybe 3 or 4 I can think of vividly. There was one in Italy, there was one in Italy that I can remember specifically. I was actually doing airborne ops with the jump masters. I was going through jump master training, and they allowed me to go up and be an AJ, do some AJ operations with one of the PJs. And we were going to, I had the headsets on, listening to the calls and everything. And just as we were waiting for the call for the jumpers to exit, it took like an extra second, and the jump master looked at me, and I looked at him, and instantly, and I have a fear of heights, and instantly when he looked at me and we were like, what's going on? It just like killed my fear of height, my fear of jumping. It just went away, and that was pretty amazing, that I just felt like so in control. It was like a regular thing now because we had done it so many times. But then there was another time when I think it was, this was like after Afghanistan the first time, but before Iraq. I remember it was like 9 months I hadn't jumped or something, and we got back to Bragg, and we were going through the whole motions, and man, I remember I was really scared, man. I was like paranoid, I was terrified, because there was so many of us. We had, it was just like, oh my God, we hadn't done this in so long. We're getting on the plane. I'm about to like literally shit my fucking pants. I'm so scared. I was really scared of this shit. And then we get up there, and I'm like, and then I step off the platform, and I get out, and I count, and my chute opens, and I look up, and I was like, and it was a night jump, I remember. And then I step out, and as you're going out, there's like all this stuff's going on around you. And as you step out the aircraft, it goes from all this noise to dead quiet. And you look up and you just see the plane leaving you. And you're like, oh, let's do it again. It's just like, it's the coolest feeling because it's just such a rush. And then it goes to like quiet instantly. And everything just slows down so fast. So, and then I remember my very last jump. It was December 19th, I think, 2011, if I remember correctly. That was my very last jump. Out of a C-22 Casa, I think it was like a C-22, and that was tailgate jump. Really, really fun time up in Alaska. But again, the fear of stepping out of the back of that thing was just like, you just see a big window and you step out of there. And it's kind of like the same thing with making videos, because when you look at videos for people online, music videos or just TV programs or everything is kind of perfect. You know, people have makeup artists, they have the right lighting, they have different camera angles that they can get, B-roll and all that kind of stuff and all that jazz. And some people get intimidated by it, right? Your ego, your pride, your ego, and all that stuff, and you tend to overthink things, and you think because it's your video, you might not get views, or people may or may not watch it, or they might criticize you, but none of that stuff really matters. It just matters that you stay consistent, because the main thing that I've come to see is, or that, if you're looking to make videos or be a YouTuber or whatever, is with anything that you do in life, you have to be consistent. I'm a musician, I play music, I'm always in the studio, I'm learning different crafts, different trades, and the only way to be great at something is to do it more and more and more. The more you do something, the better you're gonna get at it. So that's the only way you're gonna kill the fear, right? Like this says, no fear network, false evidence appearing real, right? I gotta get this out to you guys, man. This is a really cool logo I had designed. I'll probably have a link down below. You can probably order a shirt or a bandana or something if you want, or a phone case or something cool like that. But for a minute, I've been really thinking about what I really wanted to deliver to you guys. What I wanted my channel to be about, what I wanted to talk about, and really I'm just gonna start going off cuff and just being consistent with dropping content, whether it's daily, weekly, and then having you guys let me know if you guys want more of this, more of that. I know you guys like the condom video I dropped, the review I did for the lambskin condom video last year. That video was pretty interesting. I was a little what's the word I'm looking for? Reserved, I guess, about releasing that, because I've never really been comfortable talking openly about sex or protection on camera, because I don't know, it's just one of those weird conversations I never had with people. And it's not that I'm having it with somebody, I'm just talking about it. But I don't know, that time I don't know, my wife and I just finished having a fucking awesome session. So I just said, let me just make this video and just see what's up and just let people know about this, because I wish I had known about lambskin condoms like 5 kids ago and I wouldn't have any kids. Not that I don't love my kids, I love my kids very much, but it's just that, man, I wish I had waited till I met my current wife before I had kids, period. You know what I mean? Because when I grew up, man, my parents weren't around at all, and that sucked big time. And I didn't want to put my kids through that at all, but things don't always work out the way you plan. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's another video that I can drop some heat on. If you guys want to learn more about that kind of stuff, let me know. I can probably make 3 or 4 seasons if you want to hear about some shit about like my first marriage. That one wasn't too bad. She was just into other things while I was overseas fighting the bad guys. My second marriage, well, that's a whole nother episode of books and stuff in itself, and that's something I'm gonna if you guys want me to really dive in on that, let me know. I'll lead off with the bad. I'll lead off with what I did, the stuff that I did first. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to be really transparent. There's 3 sides to a story: yours, well, in this case, hers, mine's, and the truth. And she'll probably never see this shit, but in the event she does, if I even make the videos and put them out there, which I think I should, because I think somebody can learn from it. Because there's points about what happened in both of those relationships that I want to educate young men especially my son. I have a son with one of my exes that I hope that he can learn from my videos, and I hope that I have a lot of grandsons and they can learn from my videos, and I can inspire people, especially my kids and my grandkids, to check this stuff out. and I get inspired to make some cool fucking videos, you know what I mean? Especially with some of the cool shit that I've done and do and continue to do, and I will do even after I'm dead and gone, believe it or not. Um, so with that said, the only way to conquer fear is to take action. The only way to take action is to have a plan. The only way to ensure that you execute that plan is to have an accountability buddy, and you can be my accountability buddy. You know what I'm saying? You can be that person in the mirror. If you want to link up with me, let me know. Um, I got a new business opportunity too that you can partner up with me with, and we can make some money on that as well. I also have my upcoming album that's going to be released in a couple of months. I got a new artist that I'm going to be working with this year. That's going to be some exciting stuff. So stay tuned for some good music. And got some other stuff that I'm going to turn you on to. So if you guys are loving the content, make sure you subscribe. We'll sit down and have some heart-to-heart talk about some cool stuff. Making money, about relationships, about sex, about girls, about teenagers, and lying, man. I got like some cool stuff to share with you guys about that I'm dealing with right now. Some personal stuff. You know, if you want to talk about when I went to jail, you know, all that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments, man, what you guys might want to talk about or hear about. Follow me on Snapchat, follow me on Instagram, and I'll be happy to share with you guys some cool stuff, man. Peace.